morning, North Palm. How's the family doing today? Yeah, awesome. Well, turn to your neighbor and let's just say it. It's a good time to be you. And it is. You know, it's such a beautiful time of worship this morning. You could really feel the presence of the Lord. He was in this place because you were in this place. The presence of the Lord wants to be where you are, just like we want to be where He is. All right? Neither one is really good without the other. We need to be together. And so He wants to be where you are. And because you were here, so was He. And it's amazing. And you sang those songs this morning like you believed it. It was just amazing. You sang it like you believed it. And there was a beautiful image that was on the screen during one of the songs that we were singing, and it was talking about the beginning, and it was like just a cluster of stars. I don't know if y'all were looking at the screens at that time. I don't know how they select their backgrounds, but it was just really absolutely beautiful. And the Lord took me back to a reflection of the first time I really noticed the Milky Way on Edisto Island. Now, I was told that you could see the Milky Way on the island. And, I just thought we always saw the Milky Way. Aren't we the Milky Way? We just always see it. You look up in the sky and, there it is. But I didn't realize that it had distinct characteristics. And it really looked milky and a beautiful cluster of just stars. And it was just like this white vastness that was just going across the sky. And I happened to see it on the morning that Keith and Lance were getting ready to go on their once-a-year fishing trip to West Virginia, and it was about 4:30 in the morning. And though I'm usually up by that time, you guys are usually receiving your emails and getting your little dings on your phone with text messages or encouragement and stuff, I'm usually not outside at that time. But I was outside at that time, and I happened to look up in the sky, and there it was, the beautiful sight of the Milky Way. And the Lord reminded me of the promise that He made to Abraham. And he was Abram at the time, and He said, look, if you can count the vastness of the stars, then you can count the number of descendants that you're going to have, that I'm going to bring into this world, and they are going to do great, phenomenal things. And you see, my friends, it was at that night with Abraham that the Lord saw you. You represented one of those stars. It was just a symbol, but He was seeing you. And He was seeing you. And He was seeing you. And He said, you're going to come and you're going to do some really amazing things and do some productive, beautiful things on the earth. And so now we're here. It's our season. It's our time. And we're on the earth. So what are we doing? What are we doing? It's your time. It's your season. And a lot of times we might think, I really don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know really what I'm qualified to do. I don't really know how to do much. I really don't know if there's anything inside of me. I don't quite know my purpose. I don't quite know my gifts. And, I'm not like normal people. Turn to your neighbor and just say, I'm not normal. None of us are normal. What is normal? There's no such thing as normal. It's okay not to be normal. You don't want to be normal. I don't want to be like you, and you really don't want to be like me, but we want to be like Him, right? And so that's a good thing. And we do have people that we look up to and that we want to aspire to be like, that inspire us. But deep inside, we want to be who God's designed us to be, who He's created us to be. And so there really is no normal, and it's okay not to be normal. So look at your neighbor again and say, it's okay not to be normal. What's important is to know that we are approved. We are approved. I don't have to be normal to be approved, but we are approved. And let's look for just a few moments. We're going to look at 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15. And it says, do your best to present yourself to God as one approved, a worker who does not need to be ashamed and who correctly handles the word of truth. Do your best to be approved. Someone who's unashamed of what they have to offer to the Lord. There are those of us that feel like we are in that cluster of stars, and Alex so beautifully brought it out in a word that he was sharing. Sometimes we feel unnoticed. I'm just in a vast group, and there's nothing really special about me. But the Lord notices you. He knows who you are. He remembers when he first thought of you and you were a great idea. And he remembered when he said, yeah, let us create Charles. Let us create Megan. Let us create Dee. They're great ideas, but let's make them realities. Let's bring the vision and make it into a reality. And so he remembered that. And so the beautiful thing about that is that when that happened, you became more than just an idea, but you became a dream come true. And everything that was inside of you was already put together. You were a total package. You know, and we look at ourselves and we're going, but yes, but I was born into sin and there's nothing good about me. When God thought of you, he said you were good. He put everything in there that he needed in order to do the good works that he had planned in advance for you to do. But the enemy also knew that you were coming, and he has spent your entire life taking the package apart. Okay? He has spent your entire life taking the package apart, trying to convince you, nah, that's not you. No, you're not good enough for that. Oh, you might as well quit. You might as well stop. And what's happened is that we've begun to believe that. And we began to accept that, and we began to receive that, and we began to think less of ourselves than what we should and than what we ought to. And so I'll never forget, I had the opportunity to go and volunteer at a race. I like to run. Now, I don't do it as many distances as what I used to do. Usually about 3 miles, I'm good. But I used to run longer distances, and I really enjoyed it. And so I had gone and I had volunteered at a race, at a marathon in D.C., and it was called the Marine Corps Marathon. And I was just there with my friend who was an avid runner. I had gone up there the weekend before because she does events like this. She does run. She puts them on. And so I was there to help her with something that she was doing. And then she herself was going to volunteer at the Marine Corps Marathon. And I said, well, I'll go with you. And I was so inspired and I was so just impacted by this run. Now, I had already ran one race, and I thought that was my first and my last. I was good. I didn't need to run anymore. But when I was there at this one, there was just something that ignited inside of me that said, you got to do this race. I watched people who didn't have limbs running a race. I watched people who were in full military gear, boots, backpacks, their fatigues, running a race. And then they were helping the fellow person next to them who was just a civilian and was struggling to breathe, helping them along the way. It was amazing. They call it the People's Race. And I was at Station 22, Mile 22, handing out water to people, and I was amazed at the beauty and the connectivity and just everything that was happening in this run. And I said, oh, I want to be a part of that. And then when I saw the medals that they got at the end, they were the most awesome medals. They were so cool. It was the Marine Corps emblem. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm very much a patriot. I appreciate all of our military people, but I was brought up a rugrat, a Marine Corps brat. And so I love the Marines. And so I said, I'm going to get me one of those medals. I want one of those medals because they are so awesome. That's what I'm going to do. And so I talked with the lady that I was with. Her name is Leslie. And I said, Leslie, I want to enter this race. And she said, well, you can do that. She says, but it's very hard to get into this race. You're going to have some help in order to do this. She says, because the day that it comes up, when the registration opens in 2 hours, it's already booked. And she said, and Angela, it happens on a Sunday, and I know your schedule's on Sunday. You won't be sitting in front of your computer waiting for a race to open up. She said, so we're going to have to do something different and something creative if you want to run this race. She said, there's a race prior to it that if you run it, you will automatically get a bib number for the Marine Corps Marathon. It's automatic. She said, I'll go run that race for you because I can pass the bib number to you. And I thought about that, and I thought, Leslie, you would do that for me? She goes, absolutely. She says, there's no need in you coming back up here to Virginia. She says, that race will be held here. She said, I'll go run that race, and I'll make sure you get into the Marine Corps race. And so Leslie went, she ran that race, she called me up, she said, Angela, I got it, I got your bib number, I'm going to be sending it to you in the mail. That pre-qualified me for the race. Pre-qualification is something that Christ has already done for us. In Revelation 1:18 it says, I am the living one. I was dead, and now look, I am alive forever and ever, and I hold the keys to death and to Hades. You see, Jesus came and paid a price, made a sacrifice, and then he passed off the keys to us. And he said, look at what I've already done. Because I did this, you are now pre-qualified to enter into this race. There's been something that's already been taking place. And a lot of times we want to look at ourselves and we want to think, I'm not good enough. But all we have to do is accept what he already did, and he's ready to pass it off to us so we can enter. So all of us have been pre-qualified. You know, the Word of God tells us that many are called, few are chosen. We've all been called. We've all been given a purpose and a reason. You're just not here on this earth to take up space. Not a single one of us. Not even the prodigals out there. Not even the ones who have yet to even come to know who God is. No, we have all been pre-qualified because of the sacrifice that he made, and he said it was good enough. He didn't have to run this race. He doesn't have to run this race, but he chose to do it for us because he knew we were going to need some help if we were going to get started with this. Just like Leslie had done that for me and for the Marine Corps Marathon. And so because she did that, I had the opportunity to then begin to prepare for a race. You are being prepared for something great and something awesome. There's nothing in your life that's been happenstance. Even your weaknesses, your flaws, your greatest mistakes serve a huge purpose. Because the Lord said, I'm going to take even the bad things that aren't good, and I'm going to make them good. So you know what? If you screw up, I got that. I got it. It's okay. Now, it might take us a little bit longer. We might have to learn some little extra lessons, but it's all for the good. He will make it all for the good. And so I was able to begin to prepare because preparation gets us ready to collide with opportunity. Preparation gets us ready to collide with opportunity. And so opportunity is out there and it's waiting for you. And you have been prepared for something awesome and for something great. So let's look at 1 Corinthians 9. We're going to look at 24 through 27. It says, do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize. Wow. So we've already been pre-qualified. I was already pre-qualified. I had the bib number. Someone made a sacrifice for me that I could enter the race. But then it was up to me to do something with that. It was up to me to prepare myself for that. Gunnar, come on up here for just a moment, please, sir. Come on up here and join me on the stage, my friend. Now, I have heard that you are just so eager and so excited to join my gym. And I am so glad that you are here today to be a part of this beautiful training experience. Now, when you come into my gym, I want to tell you, when you walk into the door, my friend, one of the first things that you're going to see is the information desk. And all you got to do is you just take the little card that we give you, you just kind of, put it across the scanner, like that. Just let us know you're here, okay? And then you can begin your workout plan. Now, what you're going to do is after you do that, I'm going to come along with you, all right? And we're going to go over to the treadmill. And I'm going to get on the treadmill for you, and I'm going to run about maybe 2 miles, okay? I'm going to make sure you have plenty of water so that you can, stay refreshed and stay hydrated, all right? Then after I'm done, we're going to walk over here, and we're going to go to where the leg weights are. And I'm going to get on there, and I'm going to start pressing, okay? And I'm going to start doing about, let's see, how many pounds can you maybe leg press? Maybe 50? Oh, well, that's a good number. We'll just start at 50. So I'm going to get on there and I'm going to start doing that 50 until you start feeling the burn, okay? When you start feeling the burn, then I know I'm doing a good job, okay? And so then after that, we're going to come over here to where the dumbbells are, the hand weights, and we're going to start picking those up. I'll probably start about maybe 20, okay? So we'll just start picking up 20 and we'll start doing it. And then when you start feeling the burn, you let me know, okay? And then I know that we're doing really good, okay? And then at the end, you're going to walk back up here. You're going to make sure you get some more hydration because I don't want you getting dehydrated on us, okay? We got to keep you energized so you can do all that you need to be doing, okay? And so then, after that, you're done, my friend. Now, isn't that a great plan? You want to sign right here and come and be a part of my gym? Yeah. All right, let's do it. Thank you so much. Now, don't we all wish it would be like that? But do you realize it's not like that, is it? No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. When we sign up for a gym, we got to be the ones in there doing it. So why is it that we say, well, I go to church every Sunday. I show up for my discipleship on Wednesday. And my leaders, they don't care about me. They don't call me. I wasn't there. And they didn't even check on me. They probably don't even know I exist. They don't even know I'm alive. I'm just going to quit. I'm just going to quit. I'm not doing this no more. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it at all. That church over there, who they think they are. They're just a bunch of controlling freaks. Want to ruin my life. Want to take control over who I am. I'm just not going to do this anymore. Well, don't worry about it. You ain't done anything anyway. Okay? Why do we want to just come and be a bun on the seat and expect other people to make me grow? That's not how it works. You've been pre-qualified. Somebody already paid a price for you. Somebody already made the sacrifice to get you in the race. Now it's up to me to take that and prepare myself to collide with opportunity. I got to do it. I got to be the one. I got to be determined. So what do I have to do? I got to beat my body and make it a slave so that after I've preached to others, oh, if you don't do this and do that, you ain't going to make it into heaven. But yet I can't come to Wednesday night. Oh, you better be there. You better read your word. But yet mine still has dust on it. Okay, so unless I preach to others, and I myself will not be qualified for the prize. When I began to train for this marathon, I trained by myself. I wasn't with a team this time, team in training. This was just something that I wanted to do because I thought that was a cool looking medal. And I wanted to get that medal. And I was impacted by what I saw, and I thought it was great. And I wanted to be in the environment, in that atmosphere and in the environment. And DC is absolutely beautiful. You got to see the monuments, and just look at everything along the path. The path was absolutely gorgeous. And you got to run around the mall, and it looked like you were running right up to the stairs of the Capitol. You even got to run the parking lot of the Pentagon. You went through Arlington Cemetery. You started there, you ended there. I mean, it was just amazing, the stuff that you got to see on that race. And so I wanted to be there. I wanted to be in that environment. But in order to do that, I had to prepare myself. And so I knew what my weaknesses were. I'm not a fast runner, folks. I'm not. It takes me forever and a day sometimes to get to where I want to go. And I'm not fast at all. They don't call me Speedy for nothing. So I knew that I was going to have to really strategically prepare myself, because as I began to study the run, all right, I began to study it more than just going by what I saw there and liking it and thinking, oh, this is really awesome, this is really cool. I had to study the run. And as I began to study it, I realized that even though it was the people's race, they had certain things that you had to meet. In other words, you had to get 20 miles in 4 hours because there was something called Beat the Bridge. You had to be able to come across the Potomac Bridge within 4 hours of the run starting, which was at the 20-mile marker, in order to get the medal. You could still run the race. What they would do is they would redirect you because they needed to open up the roads for the morning traffic. So, yeah, you can still run. That's okay. But we're going to redirect you to a different course, and you won't get your medal. Now, how many of you just want to run, just run? Do all the work just to say, I did it. We do this to get a prize, don't we? You run so that you can get a prize. You run so you can show something for what you've done, for what you've accomplished. And so for me, my whole intent was I wanted to get that medal. This isn't good. I got 4 hours to get 20 miles in to cross a bridge just to get the medal, to qualify for the medal. I was pre-qualified. I could get in the race, but I had to qualify if I wanted that medal. And so I began to do some intense training with my brain. We all got one. Touch your head. You all got one. All right, that right there is called your brain, okay? That hard thing right there, your skull, protects the wonderful treasure and jewel that's inside of that. We all have one. My mom always told me, Angie, you got a mind of your own. Use it. You have a mind, and you need to put it to its best use. So I had to begin to reprogram my brain to where I can't do that. There's no way I can do that and run those 20 miles in 4 hours. There's just no way I can do that. I can't do that. That's not me. That's not who I know my weaknesses. I can't do that. And so I had to begin to plan strategy, and I had to begin to train my brain to think differently. And at that time, 5 miles was pretty good for a 5-mile run was good. I could do that. And I broke it down. Okay, well, this would be 5 miles in an hour. Okay, I can do that. That would be 12-minute miles. I can do anywhere from 10 to 12, so I'm okay. I think I can handle that. So then I had to start training, thinking like that. Okay. When I get up in the morning, I'm increasing my distance, and I'm getting to a 20-mile run, I just have to think 4 5s, 4 5s, 4 5s, 4 5s. Do 5 miles 4 times and you got it. It's good. 5 miles 4 times and you got it. It's good. And so I'd run the first 5 and I'd be okay. I'd be all right. I'd go into the second 5 and I'm getting really tired. I'm getting really exhausted. So now I had to think differently. 2 5s, 2 5s, 2 5s, 2 more 5s, 2 more 5s. And then I'd start to think, as soon as I'd go into that third mile or the 5 miles, 1 more 5. But see, 1 more 5, that 5 miles looked a lot longer at the end than it did at the beginning. So I'd have to go 2 2s and a 1, 2 2s and a 1, 2 2s and a 1, 2 2s and a 1. You can do this. You can do 2 miles, 2 2s and a 1, 2 2s and a 1. Okay, and so I'd have to just start breaking it down, making it smaller and smaller in order for me to be able to accomplish it, because I was getting tired. I was getting exhausted. I was getting weary. And so I had to train my brain, and I had to push my body to do what it didn't want to do. And we are the same way in the spirit. We have got to train our brains. We have to renew our minds, and we have to push ourselves to do things that we don't want to do in order to get what we want to get. All right? In order to be who we want to be. It's just not going to happen for you. All right? If you're just sitting around and not preparing, opportunity is not going to come knock on your door and say, hey, I was seeing you sitting there. I have an opportunity for you. Opportunity looks for those who are preparing, okay? Because it's out there and they're waiting on us. It's waiting on us. And so I had to begin to plan, and I had to begin to prepare, and I had to begin to train myself. And then the beautiful thing happened. My coach was on the phone with me. I kept my phone with me as I was running. She kept looking out for me. Angela, where are you at this time? Okay, we'll meet you at such and such a point. We'll meet you at this place, at that place. When I was training for the mileage, I knew, okay, I looked where the water stops were. I looked where the snack stops were. And I thought, I don't need to stop, because if I stop, I probably won't get started. I knew me. I knew what would happen. You've got to know you, and you've got to know what happens, and you've got to work by knowing who you are, okay? Because you just can't plan your spiritual development based on what everybody else is doing, all right? You got to know you, and the enemy knows you too. And so you've got to know how to participate with the Holy Spirit in helping you be the best you. And I knew that if I stopped to get water or to get a snack, I wouldn't get started again. I wouldn't get motivated. And so I bought one of these belts, that you put on, and I had all these water packs in my back. I had a little pocket here that had my snack, and so I was like, okay, I just won't stop, okay? Now, that doesn't mean I didn't walk, all right, but I just wasn't going to stop. I wasn't going to take the time to do anything else but stay focused and keep pressing on, keep pressing toward what I needed to do. And so when I crossed the bridge, I was so excited, and I was asking my coach on the phone, did I do it? Did I make the time? She says, yes, you made the time. Look over here. We're waving at you right now. You made it. You crossed the bridge. And so I'm over there. She says, let's get you stretched out. And so I'm over there on the other side of the bridge, and she's helping me do all these stretches and stuff. And so she says, how are you? How you feeling? I said, I'm doing great. I'm doing fine. I didn't even stop. I didn't stop for water. I didn't stop for snacks. She goes, what? I said, I didn't stop. I just kept going. She goes, Angela, you're dehydrated. She says, we got to get some hydration in you. She says, what you were carrying wasn't enough. She says, no, you did it and you made it. She says, but you just qualified. You still got 6.2 miles to go to get it. Okay. I didn't have strategy for that. I just had strategy to cross the bridge. That's all I knew. And I'm like, okay. So let's see what 2 Timothy 2:5 says. Similarly, anyone who competes as an athlete does not receive the victor's crown except by competing according to the rules. So it wasn't good enough that I just beat the bridge, okay? I had to go and present myself to get the medal. That was still 6.2 miles away. I was exhausted. I was tired. I did get to stretch out, but I thought, I don't have strategy for that. I know. I know this, how long the race is, but I just don't have strategy. How am I going to do this? And so there was a lady by the name of Erica. I have no idea who she was, other than the fact that she was a friend of Leslie's and a part of Leslie's running team. And Leslie goes, Erica, I want you to run the rest of this leg with Angela. Now, Erica didn't come prepared to run. Erica was just there being a part of the group, cheering people on, okay? So Erica goes, okay. And so Leslie goes, now, Erica, you need to go back to the last water stop, and you need to get Angela some water. But Angela, you need to keep going forward and keep moving on. Erica will catch up with you. It was very true. Erica could run a lot faster than me at that time. So she goes all the way back, almost a half a mile to the water stop, and then she catches up with me, and that was a very easy catch up. And she started bringing me stuff that I needed. She started bringing me water. She'd go get me snacks. She would start talking to me. She was on the phone, and she was saying, Leslie says you need to pick up the speed. And I'm like, you tell Leslie? She just needs to be quiet, needs to leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. She go, well, Leslie says you need to try to finish this race in 5 hours and 30 minutes. You tell Leslie, get out here and run this race. Oh my God, I'm just arguing and arguing. Now, I know none of us have ever done that. When somebody says, we missed you on Wednesday, where were you? You tell them, quit checking up on me. Ain't none of their business. It's my life. They don't need to know what I'm doing. They don't need to know where I'm at. They don't need to know what's going on with me. I got this. I'm okay. I'm all right. And so Leslie just kept I felt like the woman was harassing me. Now, I know y'all never feel that from me, but I just felt like the woman was harassing me. And see, I always make it a point not to harass because I know how it feels. So I felt like this woman was harassing me. Tell Leslie just to shut up. I'm okay. I got this. I don't need her sending text messages to me. And so Erica goes, well, I'm just telling you what Leslie says. And I'm like, okay. So we keep running and we keep going. And the thing is that Erica was there. She was support to me during this time. Many of us have even qualified in our races and in the things that we're striving to do and to become for the work of the Lord, but we're exhausted and we're tired. And we don't have any more strategy, but we know that there's still something there that we're to obtain. And it's a little bit further in the distance than what we had anticipated. But God's going to send in people who are fresh, people who are experienced, people who are going to get your back, and they're going to say, you keep going, I got this. Here, you need some of this is what you need. Here, I'm going to help you with this. You keep going, you need to pick up the speed now. But they know what they're talking about. They're qualified people who have also been approved because they ran their race. They know what to do. They know what's expected. They're walking in the blessings, and they want to bless you to help you be able to walk in your blessings. And so it was at that time that we had to take this last leg up a hill that took us into Arlington Cemetery. And you pass the Marine Corps monument where they're putting that flag up on the hill. And so it represented your last leg of that race, represented you conquering that hill. And Erica looked at me and she said, I can't go with you any further. This is as far as they'll let me go. She said, you can take that however you want. She says, you can take it running, you can take it walking, you can take it climbing, you can take it crawling. But just beyond that, she says, the finish line. And she says, but you have to take it. And so I looked at that as we were standing there and as we were approaching it and making our way, and I looked at that and I chose to climb it. And I remember that there was a lady in our church, her name is Patricia Arujo, and she had contacted me one time because she used to run in Mexico. And she said, we have lots of hills there. And this is how you conquer a hill. She says, you act like you're climbing stairs. She says, just put your head down, your shoulders down, your knees up, and you just take it like you're climbing stairs, like you're going upstairs. And so I remembered that. And I thought, okay, I'm going to take this like a set of stairs. And Erica means the empowered one. And so she had empowered me that you can do that, and you can do it with whatever's left inside of you. Just do it. And so I opted to take those stairs, and I opted to do it in a climbing fashion. And when I got up there, it was one of the most beautiful things. Let's look in Acts 20:24. It says, however, I consider my life worth nothing to me. My only aim is to finish the race and to complete the task the Lord Jesus has given me, the task of testifying to the good news of God's grace. I had decided that, that medal just really wasn't enough. Just to do this, to get that, I probably could have, lived my life without having one of those. But what made it important to me was the fact that my dad was a Marine, and I invited my dad to come to the race, to be a part of this. He loves DC. And so I thought, while I'm running, you and my mom and Keith, y'all can just kind of look around DC, meet me at certain strategic parts. We'll keep in touch. And so I thought, when I get this medal, I'm going to give it to my dad. That's going to make this race really important to me. It's a cool medal, and it got me started, it got me motivated, it got me inspired, but what kept me going was the fact that when I got it, I was going to give it to him. And so whenever I got up to that hill and I got the medal, and I was so excited, a Marine put it around my neck, and I'm like, where's my dad? I got to find my dad. I got to find my dad. Mom, where's Dad at? Where y'all at now? Where y'all at? And I still had a maze of obstacles and people and things and vendors to go through to try to meet up with them. But whenever I got that medal, I took it off of my neck and I put it around my dad's. And you see, there was also a jersey that I was wearing, and I think we've got a picture of that up here. And if you'll notice, my name is not on that jersey. It's in honor of Sergeant George L. Cooper. There's the second at the end. You don't see that. USMC vet, the People's Marathon, that was the medal. And then you see my bib number, 26911. And the Lord just began to speak to me about that. Because you see, when we enter into this race, it's not about us. We don't do it in our name. We don't do it for our glory. But we do it for our dad. You know, in the Bible in Revelation, it speaks of a time when the saints are going to give their crowns to him. Now, he doesn't say, you're running this race because when you're done, I want your crown. He doesn't want our crown. He doesn't need our crown. But they're just doing it. And they've been doing it throughout the annals of time. And you know what? We're going to do it too. Because we just want to. It meant something to us that, Dad, I did this for you. Dad, I did this for you. Thank you for all that you did for me. Thank you for the price that you paid, for the service that you did for our country. You went to war, you fought. Thank you, Dad. This was the least I could do for you. Thank you, Dad. And that's what makes all of this life worth it. If we were just here for 9-to-5 jobs just to try to make it until Jesus comes, even that probably isn't worth it, my friends. And obviously it isn't, because some people still don't do. They still don't take advantage of the pre-qualification. But it's the purpose. It's the purpose inside of us that I'm doing this because of what he did for us. Years and years and years and years ago, he pre-qualified me. He's made a sacrifice. He paid a price that I could even engage in something like this and become a part of something great and something awesome. And that bib number 26,911, 26 means the righteousness of God. 9 means to finish and accomplish. 11 means incomplete, imperfect, disorder. So in spite of who I was, he promised to finish and accomplish through his righteousness. Ours is as filthy rags, but his allows us to get a lot done. It says, I can do all things, Philippians 4:13, through Christ who strengthens me. And so can you, my friends. You can do this. You have been approved. There are those of you who have been running for quite some time. You've been qualified, and you're just wondering, where's the medal? Where do I go to get the medal? I still got 6.2 miles to go. That's not what I had anticipated in this conquest. I have no more strategy. The Lord is sending people to you that's going to help you because you have been approved. You have been approved. I'm going to ask if you would to please stand. Maybe there are some of you out there this morning who are joining us and you're thinking, I want to take advantage of the pre-qualification. The work's already been done. It's just accepting it. Jesus doesn't need to do anything else. He's just waiting on us to accept it. Will you partner with me? Will you join me? I paid this price so that you could accept this and be guaranteed entry into this race that you are more than capable of winning if you just stick with me. So we'd like to maybe get you engaged in that. Walk you through a prayer of acceptance of what Jesus has already done. And we're going to do it together as a family. I love this part of the service. It's a reminder of what he did and a reminder of what we signed up for. And it's so worth it. So if you'll just repeat after me, Lord Jesus, thank you for pre-qualifying me, for paying a price and a sacrifice that I could be with you. And today I accept that. Thank you for your love. Thank you for thinking of me. And I want to fulfill my purpose all these days. I love you. Amen. Remember, it's a good time to be you.